This shows an overview of the lake area, and I'm heading from High Rock Boat Site up into the North Arm to a place called Devil's Mountain. Hoping to do some hiking there and some drone flying from the overlook there. This is another perspective showing the marine chart with the depths and in the North Arm there, kind of seeing where the reefs are, places that you need to keep an eye out. This was kind of a dreary, misty day, rain off and on, cloudy, cool, and there was also a little bit of wind coming from the south or southwest, blowing us along. And here's Jeff's map showing where the campsites are located, the trail up to the overlook. There's several campsites right straight across the bay, which isn't very far. And there were a bunch of canoeists that did use those while I was there, mostly I think just to stop for lunch. Also up or in further in the bay there's some other sites, but I don't believe I think the depths may not be adequate to go in with a houseboat. I didn't test that, and I didn't put the canoe in there because of the weather that day. But it is something you might want to check out if you're going to go in there. But definitely the site there at Devil's Mountain Trail is a good one, and the trail heads right out from that particular site. Yeah, we're running into stormy weather today, but it's a good time to move when it's raining, so in the process of doing that, go up towards Devil's Mountain and try to set up for a hike when we get some weather that's decent for hiking. Just went through a narrow there, and shoals on both sides. I had to be a little careful, so I slowed down. Alright, bring the throttle back up. Got to go out and around the island to my right here just to clear these some shallow areas that you can't go through in between. Canoe probably, but not a houseboat. Not sure what the draft is. I think on this boat it's probably close to 3 feet, 2.5, 3 feet. And you don't want to run up on iron that reinforces the wood sheathing around the foam floats. High friction, so when you get on a rock with it tends to just want to stay there. Very hard to get it off. I meant to go ahead and cut down a pole so I had a way to pull off if I get on one, but I failed to do that so far. I'd like to have another tool to get off a rock if I get stuck. Last year I got stuck twice. Once I couldn't get off on my own. I needed to have a boat to pull me off. If you look at last year's blog, you'll find that it was a shoal that was not marked. In the marine charts, avionics is what I'm using, and it works well. But the problem is it's not perfect, and every once in a while you'll come across a shoal that's not accurate. It'll maybe show part of it, but it doesn't show all of it, or it doesn't show the extent or proper position. So you got to be real careful. The other one that I hit was one that was completely unmarked, wasn't shown on the chart at all. Just above the dam last year. And again, that's in the blog. But so you got to be careful, even with the charts. It's very difficult alone because I can't put a spotter up on the bow as I'm coming in. I try to slow down if I know there's likely to be shallow areas, and so if I do get stuck, it's not so serious. But so far I've been okay this trip, but we got a lot of trip left, so we'll see. Going into the wind a little bit here. I think it's kind of a southerly or south-southwest, I should say. So if I get around the corner here, around this island, I should be able to have it on my rear. Right now I'm doing only about 3 knots at this throttle setting, which is probably 3/4 throttle, but I suspect we'll get up to 3.8, 3.9 when we go the other direction. So we're turned downwind a little bit, kind of crosswind right now, so we're doing better. We're doing about 3.6 knots. And the wind is kind of a crosswind right now. There's so many islands in Temagami that a lot of them don't have names, they just have numbers. So when you look out on a marine chart, quite a few of them have just a number on it. And then the charts, the wall charts on the boat have the numbers of those islands, so it's helpful for navigation in conjunction with the navionics charts. A little rocking and rolling, just slight. But we'll get behind this island here shortly. Hopefully on the we'll break out a little bit more open here in another couple of miles, and I'm hoping that won't be too rocky and rolling. The wind isn't that strong. I'm guessing 12, maybe gust to 15 knots.
This was not the best of nights. Forcing her mind away from crazy places, she readjusted the bagged boots between her knees. Had they been left outside the tent, or even outside the bag, the boots would freeze, rubbing.
Listening to Nevada Bar, Winter Study, based on Isle Royal and the wolf studies up there in northeastern Minnesota. So listening to that audiobook as I go out the channel here.
There would be no getting them warm in the morning. Who knew boots could freeze? Anna could have gone to her grave without knowing that. Time passed. The snuffling came into the black of the tent, followed by a low growl that brought up Anna's nape hairs. "Oh my God," Catherine whispered. "Wolf."
Finally heading downwind and doing a little better on speed, 3.9, 3.7, sometimes up to 4. So much better going downwind than upwind. Gain almost a knot, maybe a little bit less. And still raining though, not real hard, just kind of sprinkling all day long. Looks like one of those slow rains. I did use some light rain gear for this departure instead of my heavy gear. I've got some heavier insulated gear that I used on Lake Superior, but it seemed a little too warm for the activities involved. And my light gear worked just fine, but it did get soaked, so I'm letting it dry out. Hopefully it'll be dry by the time I get into where I'm gonna park for the night, which is up in the air. I'm gonna try to park at the trailhead for the Devil's Mountain Trail. I had a plan for doing some drone video there, and like to do that, weather permitting, but we're gonna have to wait for this rain to stop, and winds that are not too high either. So we'll see where that goes. But we're up there at 4 knots now, 3.9, so that's a good thing. I'm making good time. But it's likely that I'll end up being in the cabin the rest of the day here, so we'll be doing a lot of reading. But that's okay. I can see out the back window while I'm steering here. There's another campsite off to my right here, but barely exposed. I'm planning to be kind of up on the north side of the Devil's Mountain area. There's 2 or 3 sites there. I'm not sure they're all suitable for boats, but it'll be better protected from this wind right now, because the wind is, let me look here. I'm pretty much going about 10 degrees true, so pretty much straight north, and the wind is right on my stern, so it's pretty much out of the, and maybe I'm 10 to 15 degrees, so it's roughly right, just a little bit right of south kind of south-southwest at about 10 miles an hour, which is perfectly fine going downwind. There's not much in the way of wave activity. It's just the rain that's probably more the pain. And coming upwind, of course, you wouldn't be able to make very much speed against this. It's only, you could push the throttle up, but about 3 knots is all you're going to get, maybe a little better. So seas are getting a little bigger. It's a long fetch down through this bay, and the seas are getting up to about 1.5 feet, maybe 2. I'll turn the camera around so you can see behind me, but cameras are notorious for not being able to document wave heights, so it probably isn't going to help you much. But you will see the white caps and bigger waves than we had before. So it's handling it fine, but I'd hate to be coming the other way. It would be really rough, and the bow would be wet with these waves. So if you look over my shoulder, you'll see that it's, I don't know, the light's a little bit in and out here because of you're looking back into the sun, so you may not be able to see the waves at all. But anyway, it's a little bit choppy, not affecting me downwind, but like I said, going upwind would be a pain. So that's the latest update. Coming into Devil's Mountain campsite. It's pretty steep terrain here, so I can see where the trail is going to be. Challenging. Right now I just want to get in here without having any mishaps with the shoals around here. The wind has got kind of strong. I would say maybe up to 20 just outside here, but behind the mountain right now, so it's pretty sheltered here. Wouldn't mind the rain stop, so that's nice for getting tied up, but it's would have liked to have flown the drone to show this, but it's still a little bit potential for rain, and I don't know, I just not in the mood for it right now. So, but you can watch at least the tie up here, and I was fortunate to come this 9.2 miles and not have to get here and find somebody at the site. That's a blessing. So thankful to the Lord for that. Favorite to the left a little bit here because there's a little bit of a breeze from that direction. Going to hit the right side first because of that breeze, but I'll try to angle it over a little bit here. Let it drift these last few feet and slow it maybe a little bit before should be touching. There we go. A little better than the last time it came in. Port bow isn't in solid yet, so okay, I think we're good now. So wind started pulling me around. So I'll try it again here. Boy, I think it's balanced there, so I'll give it a shot again. cut back the engine here. We don't need that. Turn that off and finish tying up here. I'm going to go ahead and connect the guys. By the way, that ladder is for getting access to the roof to set the solar panel up there. And as you can see, the tie-up is a little unique. You probably couldn't even see where I put the guys, but there's not a good angle for the starboard guy. The port I did okay, and I could probably, I don't know if it'll reach that other tree out there, but at least I've got both guys tied, which helps.